Okay. So the thing is, there's something happening, you could say, right now. Just something going on. You could call it life, call it reality, bare, bald reality. Just what is. That's the go-to word. Otherwise known as just this. And it's, it's a terrible cliche to talk about just this or just what is, but you got to do it. There's something is what I'm pointing to that's just here. No matter when or where we say it, there's this kind of by itself reality. It doesn't matter what appears to be going on in that scene of what is here. The reality is the same. So, and that sounds like I'm talking about some kind of substrate or some kind of like underlying something or other. Something people might call awareness or consciousness or God or, all these other words. But the point is that there's something that isn't anything because it doesn't change with the flow. It's just right here, reality. Now that is already here without doing anything about it, without respect to anything else, anything that might be appearing or happening or however I might feel or whatever's on the news. It's just good old this. And this, which doesn't move with the changes, doesn't change its form because it doesn't have a form. We call it nothing, but it's a nothing that's always here. It's the only thing there is that isn't a moving appearance. But it's not separate from any moving appearance. It isn't anything. It's everything. Now, just this, is complete. It's perfect. Without flaw, without need, without problem, without a question, without a doubt, it's not with, it's not related to anything. It's not related to any activity that might show up, any story that might show up. There seems to be stories showing up all the time. this is a story, a video. Or you could say there's an ongoing flow, or we could say an ongoing story, never-ending story. But none of that story has anything to do with what's just here. This everything that isn't anything. It's perfect. And in a way, well, it's what all of the characters in all the stories are looking for, because the characters in the stories, you can, check out any story you care to. They're a story of somebody in there who's trying to get something, trying to move from one place to another to get what might be there. Whatever it is, it's the form of stories. And the stories are everywhere, but they don't have anything to do with this. This is the whole point. They don't change this. They don't make it better. They don't make it worse. This isn't getting better or worse. It's just what it is. And that's what everybody in the story wants to get my hands on it and hold it, keep it forever. But it's just this, just here. So the separate one, me, is here. It's just this, but is looking. Everywhere is just this, but I, as me, am looking. Looking for something else, looking for just this in a different form than what's just here. I'm crazy. Me is kind of nutty, crazy. Looking, just being here, but there's this other some kind of I don't know, you can call it a mental agenda. You can call it an interior state that makes me, sort of takes over everything. And just a hallucination, right? That makes me feel this reality of this isn't okay, this is not it. And it pushes me to find it in the story of my experience. That's the movie that's going on. And me has, I don't know, it's become somehow got this job, right, of being the character in the movie, the main character, the star of this movie about getting it, because it's not here, when it only is here, ever, already, whenever, wherever. It's just this. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is it. It's the nectar of the gods, the ambrosia, feasting all day. That's all there is here. There's these stories And all the stories are stories of need, even the ones that are, winning $1 million, $1 billion, ascending to heaven, being carried away by the UFOs, whatever, or getting enlightened. Yeah, all those stories are the same story. They're all the same, and we've heard them, so we're not really that interested anymore. It's the same dream of, I don't have it, but I'm going to get it, and this is how it's going to happen. So everybody in the story, this me, and it's really not everybody, it's just one, it's a me. Every me is the same me, the same 1,000 faces, right? The hero with 1,000 faces. It's the same hero that's going to trudge up the mountain and get pull the sword from the stone or whatever it is, rescue the fair maiden. But that hero called me, again, it's the same one in every form, every person. They have different bodies, different descriptions, right? Different driver's licenses. But it's all the same me. And that experience is, I don't have it and I'm going to get it. And essentially, even though it looks like that, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of doing going on, it's really just the me sitting, waiting for this moment when this me experience is over with. Waiting for the resolution, waiting for the freedom, waiting to be released from my cage, where I have to endlessly just cycle around, walk around like a pacing, tiger in a circus cage. Waiting, even though I'm doing stuff all the time, while I'm doing, I'm really just waiting for that moment when I'll be thrown off the cliff and don't have to do this anymore. And of course, that moment never comes, because that's not part of me. That's not the me story. The me story is separate, and there's no release from being separate. The only release is in seeing that there is no separate. And the separate never happened. Separate is a fantasy, kind of a mental, again, like a hallucination. It's a dream. And it feels like reality. It feels like my life. But that doesn't make it real. And you can notice that what I can get isn't it. It's not gettable. It's only here. It's only here as what is. Every single what is, every form of what is it. And there's nothing to keep me away from it. There's nothing that is away from it. I have this feeling that I am away from it. That's me. That's the beginning of me. This dawning that I know that I am away from it. I am this one who is separate and needy and moving toward being satisfied, but never getting satisfied, except in spurts. Getting closer. Can get closer, but closer isn't any closer. There is no closer. It's all the same story. Closer, far away. Understanding. I can understand. I figured it out. Just another leg of the endless journey. Because how do you get to what's here? How do you get to this? How do you get to already?